Homesteading can kind of grind to a halt during the winter months if you don't have animals. But does it have to? Have you ever heard the story of the lazy grasshopper and the busy ant? I'm sure you have, but it goes like this. There's a lazy grasshopper who spends all of the warm months sitting outside and relaxing. And he kind of gives this ant a hard time, who spends all of his time preparing for winter and gathering food. Fast forward and winter rolls around, the ant is well fed and the grasshopper is starving. He has to go to the ant and beg for food. It's a great story for teaching kids about hard work and that the hard work that they're doing today will pay off for them in the future. But I don't think that tells the full story. Take a walk with me and I'll explain to you what I'm talking about. It's a rare February day. It's above 50 degrees, which is fantastic, and I'm doing what any normal person would do. I'm spending some time outside trying to soak that up, and it can cure the winter blues pretty quickly. But when it comes to seasons on a homestead, I really like being in an area where we get to experience all four. I think they all play a purpose. Springtime rolls around and you're so eager to get outside and you have a ton of energy because you spent all winter being cooped up inside. Summertime rolls around and you're in the heat of projects and going to barbecues that you still have a lot of energy. When fall time comes, you might start to get a little bit tired, but if you do any gardening or have fruit trees, you're starting to see the fruits of some of your labor and that keeps you going as well. But by the time fall is done, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty tired. I'm ready to take a break, and I so look forward to winter time rolling around. Now, I don't think winter means that you just sit back and do nothing, but I do think that first month of winter is very important to relax. Sit back, relax, and recuperate. I don't know about you, but when it's warm outside and I've got a homestead to take care of, pretty much any interior projects grind to a halt. That's one of the first things I do after I've done some time relaxing. I go through and fix those leaky toilets or sinks, the door that just won't close right, and get caught up on that kind of stuff. Now, after we've completed all those projects, it's still not time to just sit down and relax. Really, what we do is we try to plan ahead and decide what are our homestead goals for this year. Figure out what projects we want to do, come up with our budget, figure out what supplies we might need to get to accomplish those projects. Wintertime is when you should be stocking up. It's really the best time to go out and get those supplies. I don't want to waste a warm day driving to a store looking for parts when I could be outside actually doing something. As a homesteader, planning ahead is a skill that you're going to want to develop if you want to be successful anyway, but with the state of the world right now, it's especially important. About the worst thing that you can do, especially when it comes to seasonal items, is waiting until that season kicks off to go buy that material. That can apply to gardening. Seeds, seedlings, fencing, hoses, those are things that you should be buying now. This also applies if you do any canning. I know that the last 2 years, especially when you get to the height of canning season, which can be summer or early fall, it's nearly impossible trying to find jars or lids. I've been to some stores here lately and looked around, and canning supplies are in an abundance. So spend some time now going to stores and getting this kind of material. There's not much to do. It's cold and you might feel cooped up in the house anyway. So get out to the store and stock up. It's February and I'm already making plans on where I'm going to get firewood here for this next heating season. I don't source firewood from our own property, so I have to think through those things. So I'm out trying to contact logging trucks and get all that situated so that way I have all of my firewood and hopefully have it before everybody else is trying to do their shopping in the springtime. There are some other things that you can do during this time of year. Really just maintenance type things on the homestead. Think about your septic system. Is that something that's going to need pumped this year? Go ahead and get on the phone and get something scheduled. If you have a chimney or heat your home with wood, go ahead and call a chimney sweeping service. Get on their schedule now before they get busy and just check one more thing off your to-do list. So how many of these things that I've been talking about have you already done? And what is the one major task that you still need to complete before springtime rolls around? Let me know down in the comments. Now that we're getting into late winter, there's still plenty of things that you can do. This time of year can be a fantastic time to prune your trees, especially if you have fruit trees. I find that this time of year is probably my favorite time for trying to clear out some brush. When the plants don't have leaves on them, it's a lot less intimidating looking at an area that you might want to clear out. Get your tools organized. Think about how many times you were frustrated trying to do a project this summer because you just weren't organized enough. Now's a good time to do that. It's going to pay off for you in the future. So I opened this video with telling the story of the lazy grasshopper and the busy ant, and it relates to homesteading, but I don't think it paints the full picture. That story makes it seem like you get to winter and you just get to sit back and kind of turn into the lazy grasshopper for 3 months, but that's not the case. I do think you should spend some time in the winter, resting and recuperating after a very busy season, but don't waste it. I think winter is pretty much the most critical time in determining if you're going to have a successful year on your homestead. This doesn't get talked about too much, but I can guarantee you this is what all the professional homesteaders are doing. It's the reason why you wonder how some people are able to get so much done in a year and you can't. It's because they prepared. They spent winter planning and budgeting, and it makes homesteading seem easy. The good news is, it's not too late. Take these first few warm days as a wake-up call that it's time to get your homestead in order. Finalize your garden plans. Get to the store and buy all your project material. Go through all your equipment and make sure that it's in good working order and get caught up on your maintenance. Which reminds me, I should probably put the camera down and get to work because I still have a lot of things on my to-do list. Hit the like button if you got some value out of today's video, and make sure you check out this video next for more tips on homesteading.